On the Rave! Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hiya.
Of the internet. You're back with the On the Rave podcast with me, Gav.
I'm Addie.
And today, we've got another one of those guests for you.
Legend.
Yeah. But first, let's just remind everyone where they can find what, Addie?
YouTube.
Not Spotify. No.
But after this one,
Yeah.
you will be able to find us on Spotify.
Yeah,
and
hopefully.
of course, we are powered by Podbean, Gavin.
We are, yeah, and you can catch us on Facebook and on YouTube at On the Rave.
Rave.
On the Rave, all capital letters, because why not?
Because we're shouting all the time.
Yeah.
It's not getting boring.
So, this is episode 5, and we're going to begin as we always begin, which is with Ravers' Choice. Addie, who won this week's Ravers' Choice?
A landslide victory for a friend of the show, Hot Sauce Don, and General Sexy Asian, Alex Koo.
Alex Koo. Hey, Mr. Koo. From all the way in Sheffield, and I believe he has requested a track by Aaron Spectra.
He certainly has.
Right, amazing. So, Aaron Spectra, what we got for them?
Where there'll be a few people that's loving this track. You don't know. What a fucking blinder.
That's a way to start a show. Aaron Spectre, you don't know.
Matt Ruckus will be creaming his little knickers off.
Oh, dropping names already, Eddie. That's from the album Amen Punked, which was actually an EP released in 2005. Eddie, we've got a guest today in.
Oh, who is it, Gavin?
We have. Well, why don't we just let him introduce himself? Ladies and gentlemen, with us today is Mr. JOHN SPECTRA.
Whoa.
How are you doing?
We're doing good.
It's all good.
We're doing good.
Thanks for having us on, man.
Oh, that's all right.
Absolute honour.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you've done in music? Well, like, a few people maybe know you're a DJ. You've been involved in nights and stuff like that. Go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose as far as Newcastle's kind of rave and drum and bass scene goes, I've played in Newcastle for a long time. It must be like, now you make me think, 20 years or something, but...
It's scary to think back, isn't it? Isn't it just scary?
It's mental. Well, I mean, I think the first proper sort of gig I ever had was at the Mayfair in the back room.
Oof, there we go. That's longer than me.
And I mean, I was but a slip of a boy, like a teenager then, and then I think when the uni started doing more stuff, it's funny, I was really thinking about this, like when Rave kind of ended other places, the unis kind of took that over for a little bit.
Yeah.
Played at Arcane for like 12 years, Turbulence for about 12 years.
Those old turbulences at the uni were amazing.
Oh, man.
That low, sweaty ceiling and just, it was
They were
amazing.
good times, man.
Yeah.
Curves, I think I've played as well most of the nights in Newcastle, kind of those sort of nights. I played at your nights and like, you know, the Backlash nights. And
yeah, you played at Rollies and you played at Backlash, you played at Coalition when we had Coalition on as well, and the Raw Vibe thing.
That's
with
right,
Tom Franklin, down at the Cooperage. Yeah, amazing.
Oh, the Cooperage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make the Cooperage rave again. If it doesn't fall down.
It does. It
Probably is about to fall.
Oh man, we could try and put an On the Rave in there, but it might be the end of it.
Yeah, I think it might
What a way
take
to
it
go,
out.
though.
What a way to go, yeah. It literally will go out on the rave. Way.
All of us buried inside.
So John, you DJ as well. You just said you DJ in your drum and bass sort of stuff.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm mainly known for. Although I get a lot of bookings from doing old school, I've got a lot of old jungle. I still love all that old sound as well. Love the old rave. I still love acid house. I still love electronic music. I've weirdly developed a taste for metal in my old age, but I'll never DJ that out. But
There's nothing wrong with developing a taste for metal. It's like,
No, not at all.
You know what it is?
Not at all.
My selection is also getting much more eclectic now that I don't spend as much time right in front of a set of speakers with a microphone in my mouth.
You do as you get older, though. Your tastes broaden, don't they? Like,
Yeah, you just enjoy a little bit more of everything, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to enjoy music, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think when you're younger, you're very much closed-minded into this is what I like.
Yeah. And they can be told what they like as well. This is what you like Ragatech because that's what we're playing. You know, not that I'm having a jive or anything. That's just what.
No. Harry Dyson's a Ragatech god.
He is. Right. Okay. Well, should we rumble on with some of these questions then?
Let's do it.
Right. Okay. So, John, tell us a little bit about your early influences.
Influences, man.
Yeah. Who played music in the house?
Who floats your boat?
You know what it is, man? It's funny because I listened to the other podcasts as well. And it was really interesting hearing what other people had sort of grown up with and that. And I think, was it Sandy saying who was he saying had really bad taste in his family? But I could never tune in what my dad was listening to. The stuff my mum was listening to was probably a little more accessible. But it wasn't really till my sister started buying music and I was stealing hers.
It's always the same.
It is.
Older sibling.
Older sibling.
And then I remember getting record vouchers and going and buying a Madness single. I think it would have been Our House. Was the first.
Our price.
And it would have at Woolies. It would have been at
Woolies. Woolies 45.
Yeah.
I got some banging tunes from Woolies back in the day. Sperminator, No Women Allowed, on Rotterdam Records in Woolies.
We were talking about this just the other day. Do you remember going into Woolies and buying multiple little cans of pop? Do you remember the little cans of pop you'd get? Like, where did they go?
Like the little
You can still get them at Poundland now.
You get them at Poundland now. Oh, there's not a product from Poundland that Addie hasn't already bought and reviewed. So who were your early influences then?
Yeah, well, I mean,
sister, you said.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, and then just that was when I first discovered tapes, I suppose, and stuff like that.
Oh, there's that word again, Gavin,
singles,
tapes.
And then I suppose when I got a little bit older and I just at school and stuff, just again swapping tapes. You'd make tapes recorded from the radio, I remember holding the tape player up to the TV, adding bits, and then everyone would exchange tapes, and you'd have a mix of literally anyone. I've got a mix. Oh man, give us a mix. Like, it didn't matter if they were famous or it was some dude from up the street or something.
Yeah.
You just had to have a mix, and everyone would swap them like that. And then I suppose when I really discovered hip hop and acid house at about the same time, my mate's bigger brother, he had loads of they felt like proper X-rated. This is like some stuff I've never seen before. You know, like there's got swearing and the imagery on it and stuff like wow. Like, I remember the first time I heard Ghetto Boys' first album.
Yeah.
And I would have been about 14 or something, and I was just like, my God, what is this?
Yeah. Well, Pegs talked about that in his first show.
Yeah.
He picked the Ghetto Boys. He was like, yeah, these were mine. These were mine.
Yeah, and then I suppose, and then he discovered all that other stuff was happening at the same time, like the Beastie Boys, and then all our charts were great then as well. I mean, the amount of great dance music in the charts. And then I think I got one tape off a mate, which was called Matthew B at the Barn. Yes. And it was like,
that's awesome.
That's not coming up on Google when you say
no.
You know what? You
I'm
might
not
be
putting
surprised.
any links on it.
I found out the Barn years later was quite a big thing down the Essex way, maybe. So I might have that totally wrong, but I think Matthew B was quite well known at the time as well. But I was still super young, but every tune on there was just like, I've got to get all of these. And it was also different, you know, like it was all collision.
The search.
Yeah.
The search. Have you heard this? Going in the record shop with your tape. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Have you got this in? No, never heard that before.
I remember going in and trying to sing techno tunes, man, to them, and then behind the counter going there like, "Can you do it again?" And then getting someone else out the back, and then just to laugh at.
Do you know with this?
Proper taking the mickey, but it was like baptism by fire, because I remember doing that once, and I got the pee took out. It was quite bad, and then they were like, "Here you go, son, it's this record," you know. So in the end, I got the record. But that was like early influences. I suppose back then it was all tapes.
Yeah.
But I remember paying £10 for a copy of a tape, no problem. Like there was a record shop in town, and actually,
back in old days, that's canny money.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That's 80 snout or something.
Well, I realised
like that
now as well,
days.
he was selling. There weren't even the proper ones. He was making his own copies.
Doing bootleg
and I only realised that
yes.
later. You know, I won't mention the record shop. It was one of the smaller ones, but yeah. But
Is it still around now?
No, long gone. But yeah, I suppose God, there's not many that have endured.
No, not at all.
RPM's gone forever, isn't it? And I suppose beat down to the library. But yeah, so tapes really, I suppose.
Yeah, the boys' tapes. So your tapes, and your sister and your mates all sorted your tapes. So of your early influences, is there one tune that you could pick out that really sort of encapsulates that early plethora of music you covered?
Yeah, I mean, this has been incredibly difficult picking, you know, one for all these sections, but I think the one I have picked here sums up what I loved about everything that was happening at the time. It was really experimental. You were hearing all the different sounds thrown in, particularly breakbeats was what got me excited, and of course that, you know, was just what jungle was later. You know, hip hop was doing it, this kind of weird acidy rave. So yeah, I've picked this tune. It's called Stratosphere. It's by Trigger. I think it's like Belgian or Dutch.
Yeah, it's a Belgian label.
Yeah, it's a
classic.
When we did
I believe what came out on
Records?
that label. Maybe it's Neon, Don't Mess With This Beat.
Oh man, well Neon, Neon were amazing, weren't they? Oh, and then Neon, Don't Mess With This Beat. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up there, but yeah, I love all that era stuff. But yeah, this just sums it up because it's just exciting to me at the time, particularly. I remember my mate played me, and he said, I got it from possibly, I don't know, somewhere in town, and I just went straight in and got myself a copy, and that was kind of the real first sort of rave things. And I've still got that copy.
Mint. There we go. So, John's early influences.
Trigger, Stratosphere.
There we go.
For Asia, like milk and magnesia.
very different story.
Rhyme for Asia, like milk and magnesia.
That was Trigger. That was Stratosphere.
That was magic.
That's from the Stratosphere EP 1991, and as discussed, that's on the Belgian label
91.
Target.
Yeah, 91. 1991. I was 7. I was 7. I wasn't little, but I was 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
I just been maybe. Well, I was definitely older than that.
Definitely older than, definitely older than I was. Showing everyone, just showing their age. Yeah, don't shame me for being the young pretty one. That's not my fault. Right, okay. So moving straight on, we'll go straight into section 2.
Find your feet.
Yeah. So when you started listening to music for your own accord, going out and digging and finding your own bits and pieces, what sort of bits were standing out to you?
Well, I mean, this tune, the one I've picked on this bit as well. Again, it just because it's so wonderfully. It's like everything mixed together. There's break beats in there, bass lines. You know, there's a bit of a house groove to it and everything. It was all exciting mixing pot. And you could go to a rave then and you'd hear, you know, acid, then house, then a breakbeat thing, and then something with hip hop in it.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't have the sort of structured way a rave works these days, where you'd start with old school and your drum and bass, then a jungle and a darker set. You sort of.
Some would say a better time.
It was, well, I mean, it was just a huge collision. I remember the first rave I went to blew me away because it seemed people from all kind of walks of life, like rich and poor, you know, all definitely a lot older crowd than I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And a lot of young'uns in there as well, and gay and straight all in together. It was mint, man. And I mean, eventually, you know, it was bound. You know, what happened was bound to happen. But for that time period, it was amazing. And I suppose this just sums it up. And really, when you listen to this, it's like the blueprint for so many things that I like later, you know, particularly the breakbeaty side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose this is seen as a real classic, this Lost by the Gonzo.
Yeah. I was listening to this tune before we come out. It's on Perfecto.
It is, yeah.
and
It's just became known for house mainly later.
Yeah.
It's Oakenfold, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Ah, was it?
It's Oakenfold's label, I'm sure. It's his
Is it?
label, his honcho there, yeah.
It seemed to have a lot of different styles of releases on it, to be fair, when
Yeah.
I had a look. And lots of the bits are quite sort of soundscapey. You know what I mean? Like that sort of big sounding sound.
Yeah. It's a bit experimental, I suppose, as well.
Yeah. I think that there was a lot of experimenting going on those days. Like you say, with all of the music, all of the different genres involved in like the one song. Before songs got pigeonholed and subgenred.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's fans of the podcast who could give you 7 or 8 different subgenres of jungle.
Yeah,
Whereas, like, as much as I'm a jungle head, jungle's jungle to me. You know what I mean? I think it's a bit better that that everything was all out in one go. It's a shame that everything's structured. Sometimes people just don't go to the start of a night because they expect it to be the lower tempo, and you can miss some of the best sets of the night.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, as well, I think the other thing I loved about this when I first heard it is it's a bit weird, like that kind of weird, like comes in at the start, it's uneasy, and I remember thinking it's a bit dark, but at the same time it's a bit exciting, and it's like, what is this music? You know? And I think that, for me, like, stuff that I've loved over the years has to basically have a rave ethic to it. And even better if it's a bit weird.
Yeah. I think the more there is to it, the more different feels it gives you in one go. It gives you that sort of like, well, that opening sounds a little bit uneasy, you know, and then the joyous bits come in and the bass line, and you want to start to dance a little bit, and then the drums come in, and you're in all the different rhythms at once, and that was the joy of that sort of music that come out. Like the sort of 88 to maybe 92, where everything was well experimental.
Oh yeah, man. And it's funny the way you were just talking about there, that it's almost like they had theatrics. I mean, that's what I've liked throughout the years as well. If something's almost got like, it's almost like plays out like a good film. You know, here's the intro, the beginning, the middle, the end of the story kind of thing. And,
I think these days, when you get modern radio and things are made with a specific radio edit, it's designed to fit nicely in a 3-minute gap in the radio, and songs weren't like that. Songs went on for as long as they needed to go on, and they built up, and you had these long epic breaks, and it was all about the second drop. The first drop got you going, the second drop got you well going. As you said, so for Finding Your Own Feet, you selected this song by Lost, and it's called The Gonzo, yeah?
That's right.
Right, cool, let's go.
Oh,
There we go.
Shit.
That was the Gonzo by Lost. Discogs told us, I'm going with Discogs
Discogs again.
Yeah, the Gonzo / Baz de Conga EP from 1990 on Perfecto. Is that the one that you had, the two-side?
Yeah, it's the green. I guess green cover. But I remember
It does have a green cover.
that was on that tape again, and then I remember hearing Carl Cox play it at the Mayfair. Like, yeah, I mean Carl Cox back then was just
Playing
just
anything.
unbelievable.
Well.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, and he'd be playing hardcore stuff, techno, housey stuff on 3 decks perfectly.
Yeah.
And just being cool, like the coolest man on the planet while he was doing it. You know, it's just.
No.
Couldn't help being starstruck by Carl Cox.
Oh, I've never seen Carl Cox. He's one of the ones
I've seen him twice. Once Whitley Bay Global Village.
Whoa.
And, once at the Mayfair.
I remember that place.
Yeah, it was great. What a place.
I remember seeing like Ratty was on there.
Yeah. No, Phobia was a night there and then turned into Judgment Day. But who did I see there? Well, loads
Criminal
of people.
Minds were on there.
DJ Rap was one of my first raves ever down there. I think my second rave I went to see DJ Rap. Oh, it was just
Oh yeah,
good
you were
days.
showing me pictures of DJ Rap.
Yeah,
You were.
still very, very tasty.
She used to be in and out of the tabloids and stuff.
Yeah.
She was quite a celebrity, I seem to remember.
Well, okay, seeing as we've already started on the subject, why don't we continue on and talk a little bit more about your first rave memories?
Oh,
so,
killer segue.
I know.
It's like we've done it before.
Well,
There we go. So whereabouts was the first one?
I was quite lucky, I suppose. My age at the time, I feel lucky to have been, be able to go to the resurrections and stuff here. And there was all sorts going on in the region. You used to travel like all over, no problem. Let's go to Middlesbrough. You know, just never think of that now. But I suppose the first like ravey thing I went to was went to see Adamski. Can you remember Adamski? Yeah. Killer. NRG, still great that tune. Saw him live. I remember he was on with EMF. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah. And they had, do you know that stands for ecstasy, motherfucker? Yeah.
They changed it to Epping, motherfucker.
Oh, did
because they were charted, didn't they? So they couldn't.
It was funny, unusual kind of mix of things. But I remember they smashed all their gear up, and I'm just like, well, that was a waste.
I could have had that.
And we didn't even know what to wear, man. I'm pretty sure we went down in dress pants and stuff like that, you know.
Because it's a nightclub, so you want to get in, you've got to wear dress pants.
No idea.
And some shoes.
And then, and I'm pretty sure I got the timeline right. The resurrection started not long after that, and I remember going to that, and it was a school night. I went to the resurrection. It was like a Thursday night. I'm pretty sure. I might have this all wrong, and I got a feeling it was £6.50 or something ridiculous. Again, I might have that totally wrong, but I just remember being super young, and you know the doorman just weren't bothered. You know, about you getting. I remember getting in past doorman with me. Just put your hood up and walk straight into some nightclubs in Newcastle. You'd never get away with that now.
No, definitely not.
You could just go into Walkers like that, I remember.
Oh, like I get turned away from the nightclubs in town just for being bearded. You know what I mean? They just go away, hippie, go and shave, and you can come back into our nightclub. So what sort of things were you going to see with these early raves? What sort of things stick out?
A lot of the ones up here, and again, it's just to go back to that. You know, the lineup would be so varied. You'd have like a dark jungle DJ on, and then Carl Cox, and then a live PA of a real housey thing, and then and then someone amazing techno like Lenny D or Nipper or something would be on as well. It was just like, my God, mint lineups. But I don't know. There was a tune that really stuck out for me at the time as well. I remember. I think I was saying these just before, sometimes back then, tunes just never went away. They stuck around for years.
Yeah.
They came out in 91, but they're still playing them a few years later, which doesn't happen so much now. I suppose things do transcend eventually. But yeah, this was one of those that just, sometimes you'd hear this 3 times on a night out. I remember when the bouncer kicks like a mule, whatever, when that came out. I remember being raving, maybe hearing that 6 times in a night.
In the one night. When it was the latest banger.
Exactly.
I was recalling just the other day, like I went to go and spend New Year in Birmingham one year at the NEC Arena to go to one of the big drum and bass arena events. It struck New Year, and in the main room they were playing Tarantula Pendulum. So I went to the second room to go and see what they were playing, and they were playing Tarantula Pendulum. And then there was a little old school room at the back, and I was like, surely I'm not going to get the hat trick, and fucking sure enough, walk through the door, Tarantula, and it was like, it was everywhere, you know what I mean? And tunes used to be like that. They used to be
like
everywhere. And these days, people send their set lists to each other so they don't play the same tunes.
Just a big track of that moment, and it's just like, right, this is the track. Everyone's had the same, midnight, I'm playing this, it'll go off.
That's a bit like when you go on holiday somewhere, and it's just like the same cheesy songs everywhere.
when you go to a foreign holiday, there's a cheesy Euro house thing which no one's heard of over here, but it's everywhere somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then you come back, and a month later, it's everywhere over here as well.
That's it. They probably already had a year and a half of Despacito before it got to us. You know what I mean? Poor bastards. So
I actually know what that is now as well. I didn't know what the heck that was until pretty recently. Right?
I never paid attention to the full song until someone sent me a fucking thing on Twitter with the full song but sang with the names of Pokemon, and it was better.
It's the most watched thing on YouTube or something, isn't it? The most watched song on YouTube or something.
It's outdone Psy, because that Psy video is...
Oh, maybe I've got that wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
had a lot
got
of
mad views.
Because someone deleted it, didn't they, just for a laugh?
Well, they deleted it.
Just recently, some hackers deleted it just for a laugh, but they put it back up again.
Oh dear, I don't know. We'll find that out. We'll find that out, and we'll put something in the comments confirming or denying what we think was going on.
I'm making his homework here, lads.
Oh, that's how I'm always doing.
Have had that
I'm always
pint of
doing my homework. Always doing my homework. That's how we fuel people. We give them pints of coffee and just let them talk.
Pure nerves at the moment.
So, first rave memory. You said that you'd picked a tune.
Yeah. Homeboy, hippie, and a funky dread.
A homeboy,
what a
hippie,
banger.
Total
What an absolute
confusion.
banger.
What a fucking name as well.
It is a great name, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. Like when I was digging through, I was just kind of like, it's kind of like a little bit. I'm a little bit of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm the homeboy, the hippie, and the funky dread. It's just like, get the fuck in. So which tune is it you've gone for?
Total confusion. I mean, it's like, and then Casper Pound, who was in this group.
I never realised that Casper Pound was part of it.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think I did know that, and then when I was doing a bit more research, and he was in Hypnotist as well.
Yeah,
and I love all the Hypnotists.
House is Mine.
House is Mine. I nearly picked that for
tune.
this. I mean, what? That's a prime example of getting led down a beautiful flowery path, and then suddenly you're in the dark forest of hell, and it's beautiful. I mean, what a wonderful piece of music that is. You know, just flips like that.
Yeah.
Pure hardcore. Lovely stuff.
Amazing. So that's section 3. We're obviously rattling through these, and for his first rave memory, Mr. JOHN SPECTRA has picked
a homeboy, a hippie, and a funky dread. Total confusion.
Total confusion. Radio stations, I question their blackness. They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this. Radio stations, I question their blackness. They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this.
On the streets in your dashing vest, you're taking in the lyrics like you're smoking a sex. You're getting high, wondering why you can't fly. Ask me no questions and I will tell you no lies, because the day's crazed and amazed, so I'll rephrase. I can keep on going for days. Days will turn to years. Just look me here, and if I can have a chance, I'm gonna top up your ears, cause I can kicks from being slick, quick, not stick. You come over here, you don't get your ass kicked into a hearse. Put under a stone cold surface, and when I finish that, I hold a jam at your surface. You're astounded, and you're walking around in circles, and it's a big miracle. How you still going, slowing your battle, is running low when you try to pull me back, but of course I keep towing you on and on and on. But that's wrong. You should be concentrating on rapping your own song, cause rapping is an art. But there are many rappers, it takes talent. I got plenty of that, plus the fact that I ain't whack yet. You come over here, you know that you're gonna get slapped back to where you come from. Could be the punch or London, I'll take you all on. Cause it's used to mess and just with the roughest. Manchester in the house is something to blow your mind into the atmosphere. Come on, feel the bass, cause London's here.
They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this. stations, I question their blackness. They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play
Let
this.
the music move straight through your bloodstream. And when you feel the vibe, you know what I mean. By a place that's kicking from the heart. And it's my time to get started on the beats that really matter. This is not your average chick chatter on the microphone. You're all alone, talking away like it's a Twilight Zone. Boy, you wanna change that, rearrange that. Find a sucker on the street, then play that. Cause that's played out, and I'm paid in full. So don't talk that bull, cause it used to mess and just with the roughest. Manchester in the house has something to blow your mind into the atmosphere. Come on, feel the rhythm, cause London's here.
Radio stations, I question their blackness. They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this. Radio stations, I question their blackness. They call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this.
Don't you love it?
Kicking bad shit.
Yeah, that's a really that is.
Oh,
a
I've got
proper wicked-
goosebumps.
Yeah, the video to that as well. Some of the outfits are just proper jealous-worthy ones. Like I'd rock them now. I've got no problems, but I still wear fat pants that I had in the '90s. So, right, okay. So, Addie, just remind everyone who we are and where we are.
We are the On the Rave podcast. We are on powered by Podbean rather than on powered by Podbean, and we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Soon to come Spotify. Get up.
Get up, and of course you can catch her on Facebook and on Twitter. If you want to get involved and you want to pick one of the tunes to start it,
We normally post the week before we're going to record.
we'll use the
just keep
hashtag Ravers Choice. You
Yeah,
pick,
just
we
keep
pick
it-
a tune, and the one that gets the most likes in the comment will be the one that opens.
We can't
the
be
next
bribed. We can be bribed. Mostly with beer and pingers.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure you accepted eels for this time round, didn't you?
Eat a fucking sexiest eels imaginable.
Right, okay, for anyone who's not in on that, eels is a bit of a festival thing that we've got, biting back to one of the bank bases.
Thick as sexy eels.
And we'll use that as a lovely segue into finding out what John selected as his festival fever tune. John, do you like festivals?
I love festivals, mate.
Yeah?
I can't even. I think proper rite of passage business when we in the 90s we were still quite young, I suppose, at the time, and my mate's dad drove us down in a van. He made us a grappling hook to go. He did to go over the fence at Glastonbury in the dead of night. And I remember just thinking it was the most exciting thing I'd ever done. I'm like, this is so naughty. And I remember we had, like,
Little
had the
disclaimer, the On The Rave podcast does not condone jumping over fences at festivals.
At festivals, no, I totally. Well, I mean, the irony of that was the fence was just like we were trying to go over the fence and then realised that it had just been pulled down a little bit down the road. But I mean, in the 90s, it was kind of like, oh, it was a done thing, and you realise that was completely the wrong thing. I mean, I ended up going to 13 Glastonburys in the end.
Wow.
I mean, that was the only one I snuck into. No, I actually bought a ticket. No, I didn't. But I did after that. And I remember another year going with tickets, and the queue to get in the main door was so busy. And I saw the fence again was pulled down just down the way, and I walked in. And when I went back out later to get my band, they were like, "How did you get in?" I was like, "Well, the fence was down." But I mean, something had to be done about that. I think the year before, when it was like twice the capacity or something, and it was like almost like a human catastrophe, you know.
Yeah, it's accident waiting
It
to
was
happen.
not pleasant.
Was that the one with the heavy rain?
Maybe 99. Well, I mean, there was a couple with
99.
bad. 2006 was the worst I ever experienced with rain, man. It got to the point where you literally, there was nowhere within the whole site where you could sit.
I was there,
You couldn't
mate.
sit anywhere.
2 people died in the field I was camping in.
Oh my God.
2 people drowned.
didn't know that.
That festival, It was so mucky and so unbelievable. Do you know, that was the first time I seen Orbital play their last ever gig.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure I've been to see them play the last ever gig.
In fact,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think they played the last ever gig again last week in Newcastle at the Sage.
It's like Renegade Hardware, isn't it? Keeps the last ever.
Kind of not, but yeah, okay.
Oh, well.
People keep saying that Backlash is dead as well.
Interesting business model.
It is dead.
It is dead.
Well, dead, but we just rose from the dead a couple of times. Zombified. We had zombie raves. Remember
that? Yeah.
But yeah, I love festivals, man. I absolutely love it. Glastonbury blew my mind. I think I love the late night bit of Glastonbury and having seen all the effort they would go to. And it's funny, Boomtown, I think, spiritually kind of feels like that used to be now. When you go to Boomtown, I did love that. And I've been in some terrible festivals. I remember going to one in the 2000. It was like to do with the eclipse. It was one of the most poorly organised things I've ever been to. It was awful. But I mean, that was probably the only really bad one. But yeah, and at festivals, you end up watching loads of stuff you wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
I think one of my greatest musical memories ever was watching Bjork at Glastonbury.
Oh, I missed Bjork.
Oh, it was unreal.
She's still on my list. I've missed Bjork every time.
Well, it was when she was working with Mark Bell, was it, from LFO, and they had that React table thing. And I've never seen lasers like that. I mean, I've seen a lot of lasers at raves, but those were just the most insane things I've ever seen. And again, I wouldn't sit really in the house to listen to Bjork, but there it was just pure magic. But I mean, the thing that always works at festivals and gets me excited is
That's me.
hearing Old Skool.
Yes. Yes.
And
it's all about the piano and the sunshine, mate.
Oh, mate,
Like,
I don't mind a cheesy piano. I know some people.
We love it here.
We love a cheesy piano.
love it here.
We do.
Mate.
The more Edam the piano, the better.
Nice.
Like,
But yeah, and it's funny at festivals, and you can be sort of a little bit, kind of about this, but you often see DJs who are not known for old school, just drawing the old school at a festival. And then that's alright, because people love it. They'll be playing jungle where they wouldn't normally be associated with that kind of thing. But again, if it's getting the crowd excited, then that's
we like a nice surprise set like that. We
It's
like
good.
a nice bit of a surprise set like that. Years and years ago, I was at the Glastonbury and over on the New World stage. And there was like a list of people one after another that I wanted to see. And between the bands, Phil Jupiters would come out and do a little bit of stand-up. And it was like
That's
Phil
cool.
Jupiters came out and cracked a couple of jokes and then introduced the Scatterlights. And then the Scatterlights went off and he came back and he introduced Roots Maneuver. And then Roots Maneuver went off and he introduced the Fun Loving Criminals. And it was just like, you got this extra little comedy bits by Phil Jupiters. And since then I've always had this added appreciation for him. He was wearing a proper bling suit as well. And that night was closed off by Jimmy Cliff, who was just absolutely unbelievable. Like the pipes on that guy for an 80-odd year old is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, just unbelievable.
Well,
and that's the thing with festivals, you see everything, don't you?
I remember watching Al Green. I would never have thought I'll go and watch Al Green, and it was unbelievable. Just like, this is brilliant.
Like, to quote Addie, we were like, I can remember being ripped on pingers and going to see Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
Oh, that would be magic.
And being stood in the crowd thinking, this is just wonderful. And he was like, he's so much older than he was, but he could still do the high voice. And it was just like, there's a big group of Geordies all singing, everybody gone surfing Whitley Bay, like dropping their voice. And then every time it happened, the group around us got a little bit larger and a little bit larger, saying Whitley Bay. And it's just class. That's the thing with festivals. I just think there's that sort of energy to join in.
Yeah, I'll probably regret telling this story, but one of my favourite memories at Glastonbury just popped in my head, sitting, burning sunshine, open air toilet, just sitting on the throne, and Shirley Bassey's belting it out like not far away. I'm just like, I mean, as far as it goes, like, this is pretty surreal. But
That's brilliant.
What a wonderful accompaniment, whilst the breeze blows through these horrendous smelling toilets. I can hear,
on the Wednesday and the Thursday, maybe sometimes on the Friday, those open air toilets were the best options. But come the end of the weekend, they could be a disaster.
I remember seeing a guy up to his waist in one looking for his watch.
Oh.
And ridiculous, yeah. And he was very drunk, and like they were screaming at him to get out of it, And he was like, look at me watch, just like arms in it and that. And I'm just oh my God.
Yeah, that made me feel a bit ill.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. So, of all the DJs and the festivals, I know you just said you like a little bit of piano for the sunshine.
Yeah.
Is there one tune that stands out?
Well, I'll pick this again, one of so many I could have picked, because, again, just to mention Boomtown, I remember seeing Slipmat, SL2, DJs Take Control. I mean, I know they had, some corkers. I do love this one, though. Again, it's absolutely wonderful use of breakbeat in this as well.
It's on one of those really iconic EPs as well, because the other side of this is where my
Yeah, I
brain...
was just going to say that's my particular favourite.
and that is just... That's an
Slipknot
absolute
line, Where My
beast of a
Brain was
tune.
magical.
It's one of those ones where you could
Lovely.
accidentally drop either side of that one and you'd still have the room going. So, Festival Fever, John, you've selected...
SL2, DJs Take Control.
That's SL2, and that is DJ's Take Control. And as I said before we broke up there, that's on the EP DJ's Take Control, Way in My Brain, from 1991, XL Records.
We in me brain.
We in me brain. We in my brain. Amazing. So, shuffling quickly on. This is one of my favourite parts of the show. This is the shared discovery section. So, John, is there anyone who you've discovered on your musical journey that you would implore the Ravers who are listening to the On The Rave podcast to listen to? Who should they search for on YouTube?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, this was another interesting one to think about. I like loads of weird, obscure hip-hop artists. Some I wouldn't feel so comfortable recommending. It's like when you see an amazing film, like, like, let's take Irreversible as an example. What a well-made movie. But you wouldn't recommend anyone watch that movie, would you?
Maybe not Alone. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It took me ages to get over that movie.
Yeah.
But
there was a discussion going on about this on Facebook the other day about movies that are difficult to watch a second time round. And I was saying Happiness.
Requiem
for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, like, you don't want to watch that second
Incredible
time, do you?
movie, but yeah, again, would you really recommend it to anyone?
You don't want to watch it with your nana.
No, God.
Unless you're going to kick her in the cunt.
I remember that's just reminded me of being a little kid watching Conan when I was far too young, and my mate's gran was in the room, and there was a scene, let's say an adult scene going on, and she thought they were having a fight.
Amazing.
We were just
Having a bit adult wrestle.
We were just sitting there like googling, like, oh, she must be really blind.
Amazing.
But yeah, I suppose going back to the question, I picked these guys mainly because, I mean, I've been quite lucky over the years. I've DJ'd. I love doing the back-to-back thing for a while, so I've had some great back-to-back partners at Arcade. Yeah, so, I mean, Tony Wheels as well. Tristan Dark Skies.
Oh yeah, Tristan's a good guy.
Yeah. I used to do back-to-back with Tris as well. The Machine. If you listen to this, we used to shout that at him because he's so perfectly flawless, his mixing. He's a machine! But yeah, Matt Ruckus must have, yeah. He must
Matt'll be on soon. When he's in Newcastle next.
Mint. Yeah, I love Matt, and he'd been on at me for ages to listen to this band. But I was just saying, like, I don't know whether this was they're called Fuck Buttons, this band, and he was like, you've got to listen to this tune in particular. This will get you hooked. I think it's off their first album, the one I picked. But I would recommend all of their output. I do really like them. It's pretty different. I mean, it's definitely ravey in a way. It's like stadium, ambient, epic. I don't know what you describe it as.
Yeah, ambient rave is what I'd sort of describe it as. It's somewhere between like ambient rave and beeps and blips.
Yeah.
There's lots of the beeps and blips stuff on, but it's very soundscapey.
And it builds for ages.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit like snowboarding music.
Oh, nice.
Like, so you've got on your lift and you're going up, like, and then you just drop, and you've got the glitches, and you just sort of see all
I
the
can see
snow
that
and,
working. I've never been snowboard, but that's probably perfect music.
That's what it makes me think of. Like, as I say, I had a quick Google of these guys when I got recommended, like I do when anyone recommends one on the show. And I follow these guys on Spotify, and they just keep dropping these really quite simplistic sort of beeps and blippy tunes, but they're bold, aren't they? They're big.
Huge, yeah, man. Yeah. And they just grow subtly. I think it was funny, it was a bit later when the Olympic ceremony was on. One of their tunes was used on the Olympic ceremony.
Really?
Yeah.
What, the England one?
Well, yeah, the Danny Boyle one.
The London one?
Yeah, and I remember thinking, oh, what is this tune? It's mint. And then I don't think it's Shazammed or something, but then when I went and looked up afterwards all the music that was on it, and I was like,
no Danny Boyle made it all available so people could see all the tunes, didn't he?
And it was like, oh, Fuck Buttons again. And I've seen them live a few times. They're great. I saw them with Glastonbury when the Rolling Stones were on the main stage, and there was maybe me and about 50 other blokes my age, and about 2 really reluctant girlfriends. But they're amazing, I think. They're amazing live, particularly.
I think I would have chose Fuck Buttons over the Stones. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah. And it's funny because they never really speak when they do a live thing, and they'd actually stopped at one point and were like, why are you watching us? But I mean, I'm no regrets at all. I'm not really into the Stones.
It's nice when people are humble like that, isn't it?
Go and read the lyrics for Brown Sugar.
Yeah,
that is a strange song.
Yeah,
anyway,
there's a lot of them out there. Are strange. They get away with saying some rather obscure things. These songstresses. We were listening to one the other. There was a song that we were listening to the other day, like an old soul song, and the lyrics were just so unradio playable.
Yeah.
young girl,
Oh,
get
that
out of
one.
my
Oh,
mind.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, what? My love for you is way out of line. And it was like, how's this still playing on the radio?
Yeah, yeah.
This is paedophile promotion.
It's
isn't it?
problematic.
It is problematic. It is. It's a way of saying it without having to drop the P word that I use. Like,
About era, they're a bit like that as well.
yeah, okay.
It's super
So-
noncy.
But yeah,
So fuck buttons.
so I'm recommending this because my man Matt recommended me them, and it took me about 50 attempts before I actually sat down and listened to them. Because I'm terrible like that sometimes, but when I did, I was like, this is amazing. And I ended up going out and buying everything they need to put out.
I
There
love
you go.
when that happens.
It's mint.
Great.
But yeah, I love this tune. Just switch off from the world. I mean, it's a 9-minute tune, but honestly, it'll take you on a wonderful journey.
That's fine. Here we go. We're all going on a shared discovery journey whilst you all enjoy some fuck buttons.
Sweet love for planet Earth.
as Fuck Buttons, Sweet Love for Planet Earth, and again, this is Discogs, this is from Discogs, Street Horsing, but with 3 R's.
Yeah.
Street Horsing from 2008, released on ATP.
It's a wonderful, wonderful album, that. And I think I looked up the equipment list they used on it, and it's ridiculous. When you look at what they used on that, you realise anybody with a good creative approach can make music. I mean, they were talking about, like, I'm sure it says there's like a kid's toy mic in there, a really rubbish, laptop. And, they didn't use expensive equipment there, but they were lying around, and it's a great album, that.
It just goes to show that you can actually make music that goes out there, that is made with absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Like, it can be made with absolutely...
Well, limitation fuels invention, that's the thing.
There we go. Right, okay, it's time to move on. Addy, set the scene.
Front right stack. You grip on the barrier.
Alright.
Your pingers are just kicking in.
The adrenaline.
A tune drops. Your arms flail in the air. What's that tune? Go.
Go.
Oh, what, the one I've picked?
No. Just, what tunes do that to you?
Oh, what kind of tunes do that to me? I mean, I think you were talking about this the other day. It's that thing that makes you realise your face has gone, like, you're eating sour lemons or something, and it's just
yeah.
This is the argument between this is the argument between the
face.
hands in the air and the screw face.
But that is mine, because I'm not really a hands in the air kind of a guy.
So you're a screw face. I like pegs.
But to me, that is my my metaphorical hands in the air. I suppose
See, I'm a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Piano's up. Bass face down.
Face down. But I like stuff that's, I don't know, if it's kind of dramatic without being, silly, if it's got great breaks in it, an absolutely amazing bass line. Yeah. Again, I love a big piano or a massive rave stab or, sometimes just the simplest tune, the best ones,
The little bits that do it for you.
Absolutely, and you see, again, it all goes full circle, some of the most anthemic stuff out in drum and bass right now, it has those elements, it's simple lines, and a lot of those things are coming back into fashion again and again. But I mean, I love jungle, I love old school, all that sort of stuff, and the one I've picked actually, it's around that theme, but
around the jungle old school theme.
Jungle old school. Again, it was so hard to pick this.
Yeah, but lots of people have struggled with all the lists.
Yes.
Like, I think I got lucky because I knew what I was going to pick for 10 songs and then made the questions around the songs that I picked. So it's made everyone else has pulled a face at it. It's been nice watching everyone else square.
I sweated over this.
Yeah.
It was funny, even I told my dad about it, weirdly, and he hates all this music, and then he was like, oh, you know what, I'd like to do it. I was like, well, Dad, I don't think they're really
Hey, send in the questions. Send in the questions. You never know when we're going to have a quiet fortnight.
Yes.
I'd like to post answers anyways. In fact, I'm putting it out there. I want our listeners to put their own in. If we're not going to interview them, then feel free to post your own pics online.
We post regularly asking everyone what you got. But if you've got a certain song that's like your arms in the air or your screw face.
In fact, any of the questions.
Yeah, share them in the comment. And again, if you use the hashtag Ravers Choice, you might even end up opening a show.
Yeah.
You see? This is the social media, the interactive side of everything, isn't it? So, your screw face / arms in the air moment. What's the tune?
The one I picked. I mean, again, I could have picked some Dom and Roland or something horribly Hoovery or something like that. But I've gone for yeah. I was listening to Raven yesterday. Ed Rush, but really it's Dom and Roland.
Yeah.
But you listen to that, and again, Hoovers. But I've picked DJ Harmony. Let Me In.
Oh.
On Moving Shadow. Now I'm in danger of probably playing this tune too much over the years.
There's no such thing.
Every jungle set, I think pretty much I've played this. I remember falling in love with it when it came out in 1995. I think I've got 3 copies of it. And the remix is really good as well. And I don't even think it's one of them. It's not like a Discogs, 40 quid or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's
$3.95.
It's not an expensive one if you want to go get one. But in my opinion, it just encapsulates beautifully crafted jungle at its best. And it's weird, it's got a jazzy intro, which I'm usually jazzy jungle rubs me up terribly.
Oh, I love a bit of jungle jazz, don't you? You love a bit of trumpet.
Dirty bastard.
Yeah, usually it doesn't work for me, but this has got a really smooth intro, but then it just goes off into the amens.
It's that moving shadow that's that moving shadow sound. It's that spacey, airy, stringy sort of sound that comes with it.
Just go away. I think we're going to talk about moving shadow a bit later as well.
Preempting. A bit of foreshadowing there. Epic foreshadowing. So, for the arms in the air / screwface moment, because we've got another screwface in, and that's absolutely fine. You
Yes.
rave the way you want to rave, Ravers. That's the crap.
Like it.
So, for the screwface moment, question 6, arms in the air.
DJ Harmony, let me in.
And again, that's a corker. It's a corker. It's an absolute beast of a tune. That was DJ Harmony, Let Me In. That is from the EP Let Me In / So Real, which is from 1995, and as mentioned by John, that's our moving shadow.
And the remix is excellent as well if you want to go and check them out.
Yeah, there was a remix version on there that was like just
10
3
inch,
or 4 different remixes of the same tune.
Oh, there's that one as well, yeah.
Yeah.
The B-side.
Sound. Well, John, as a DJ, you go out and many people will ask you if you will play a track for them. We are flipping that shit. Flip, reverse it, and we're asking you to dedicate a tune to someone. Go.
Right, well, I mean, it was funny. This one just seemed to cut like a laser straight away. You're going to dedicate a tune to someone. I'm going to dedicate this to Big Si Turner.
Get in.
Magical man.
Who obviously,
Such
everybody in the scene up here knew and loved him.
Mm-hmm.
A very close friend of mine. But this tune just is him in my head.
Good.
Partly because it totally sums up Curves, which if you don't know, that was the night him and Triss and Dave Catman started many years ago, and was always there just kind of supporting the more darker, dirtier end of drum and bass, your Black Sun Empire kind of.
Techie Rollers
And stuff like that, I remember the time we booked Dom Roland and he didn't play Amen, so me and Triss were just quietly in the corner going, oh, it's kind of why we booked you. But you do whatever you like.
We booked Shipmat once and he played on Winamp. So,
Winamp!
Yeah, true story.
Amazing.
So, in his boxer shorts.
And again, I remember they booked Raiden to play Curves, and I remember he had a lush new, it was Miller Winter, and I'm sure he had a long leather jacket that he had behind the decks, and somebody pilfered that, and it had his passport, and he's Estonian, isn't he? And he had to go, like, wherever it is in Durham to get his passport. It was like, welcome to Newcastle, mate.
No.
We saw his jacket, and you've got to stay here.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet as well. He was so good about it. So back to the dedication to Big Si.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Si just had a huge influence on everyone he met.
He did. There's so many people who have memories of Si just saying smile and pointing the camera at them.
Yeah.
But also he was a big part of the Newcastle Beats Forum when that was running.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously they had
Almost
their own
forgot
radio.
about Newcastle Beats.
You almost forgot. Do you know what? The other day when I was like, how can I get more people to listen to our podcast? I was like, does Newcastle Beats still exist?
Well, it's still there, and I think all the stuff's still there. Triss still pays the hosting on it. I mean, I was a moderator of that for a long time, sort of quietly, stopping the trolls trying to ruin the place. But and it was funny.
Sorry.
Facebook killed message boards, and it's funny for a time. Message boards reigned supreme.
They were fantastic.
I'm sure.
We had a great community on Newcastle Beats. Didn't we?
At one point it was really buzzing on there. The huge archive of mixes, and I remember we had a little production competitions going, and it was good for
Let's
a while.
make Newcastle Beats rave again.
But it's just like, if you did. Someone else quite prominent in dance music's brought back a forum. I forget who it is now, but they were saying they wanted to bring back the forum.
Yeah.
I like
they're doing that sort of thing with the Off Me Nut lot from Sheffield.
Right.
They've just changed their group on Facebook so that it's more like production oriented, and they're doing videos on how they produce the bass line that they're making, and they're like
cool.
going live and doing it. And I think that's mint, like bringing it back and showing people how they're doing it,
That is
and
cool,
encouraging more people to do music. And that's what we're saying. That's what we want to do with this podcast, man. We want to condition more people into listening to more rave.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't be exclusive. It should be, as democratized as possible. It's funny. I always just thought it was funny back in the days, people being really protective over letting people know what tunes were. Even though
people are still like that.
You can't.
People are still like
Hex
that.
mentioned that in the last.
He did. He was just like he was.
I'm just finding new artists and just don't tell anybody.
It's funny. Well,
That's fine.
he's showed me some amazing hip hop artists I wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
Oh, you'll share hip hop.
Yeah.
He'll just not share anything hard.
He'll need to know you.
Yeah.
But he's showed me the way on some great hip hop over the years. It's funny. I knew a DJ who I won't name from a different scene, like the house music scene. But he used to have a little thing that covered up the middle of his records when he was playing out, and he had these special things that they're almost like coasters, I suppose. And he would put them over the middle of the record, so
to protect these white labels.
Well, just so no one could see the middle eye, and then so if anyone was looking over, they just wouldn't even know what it was. And obviously, it was before the days of Shazam and that. But
amazing.
Shazam ruined all that.
So we'll go back to your dedication to Si. I mean, there's a group dedicated to Si where everyone shares pictures of their feet on the bus.
Yes.
And that's a lovely little
Every
reminder.
time I get a new pair of trainers.
Yes, I mean that's still living on in it. And it's funny, from the horror and tragedy of what happened to Si, from that, I've ended up making, great friends with some of the people he knew better than I did, and now we've become friends.
Yeah.
And I've got to know his family, and it's as awful as all that was. But this song, like I say, it's just now him in a song, and I couldn't even listen to this for ages after because it was just too much, too powerful.
Sometimes you do lose songs to funerals. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you.
But this, I mean, I can listen to it now and feel like, you know, uplifted by it again. It's a huge emotional thing, but it just shows you the power of music.
Yeah.
It's insane all that's wrapped up in a bit of music. You know, and this tune means something completely different to someone else.
Yeah.
But to me, this is just saying I'm dedicating this to him from all the Newcastle crew.
Indeed.
Sound. So why don't you drop this? So this is for Si.
This is Falling by Raiden.
that tune was selected by John Forsyth Turner. That was Raiden Fallen from Hardware 15, the Masters of Hardware album that came out in 2011, which was released on Future Beats and on Renegade Hardware in the UK. And as we said, that goes out to Si, and big love to the man. He was a big part of Newcastle's rave scene at one point. And
Huge.
Like it's his memories aren't going to go away because of things like that tune and because of the photos on the bus and stuff like that.
I still
And it's
see
nice,
him
isn't it?
everywhere, man. It's mental. I still see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just see.
I've got a mate who I still see in the crowd, and you double take and you get a chill right up your spine.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, what the and you know it's not them, but it's still, it rocks you, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was like, hey mate, you look just like. Well, that's too weird.
Yeah, you're right. Like that's the other side of it. You look like my friend who's not here anymore. How traumatized the person might be if they had that. Okay, so swiftly moving on from all the sadness, let's talk about
Guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasure.
now everyone has a guilty pleasure when it comes to music. Our family believe that. So I've been told by some people that they're not guilty of any of the music you listen to, but surely there's something.
I don't believe that.
Surely there's something that you listen to in the bath that you'd be gutted if your mates found out you listen to. What sort of things are your guilty pleasures in music, John?
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of. I love some terrible music. It's funny, some people only like terrible music.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And it's and some stuff is so middle of the road. I just never know how it's so successful. But I suppose my big guilty pleasures is cheesy synthesizers.
Right.
I mean, I love even stuff like like TV themes from the 80s and stuff like that.
I love that. I can't remember what I had like important things for work that I did last week, but I can sing you songs for cartoons that aired in the 80s, like word for word.
Oh yeah, you can whistle the full pheromone bit to the Doctor Who theme, like all the way back from the 60s and stuff like that. They're amazing, those little bites. It's like advert.
that was made with tape loops.
No, it didn't.
The
I always
Doctor Who
just
theme was made
I
with
always
tape
just
loops.
assumed it was a guy wearing a scarf in front of a
It
thermone.
was a lady who works at the BBC Radiophonic, and she made that out of tape loops. I remember reading about this, and apparently one of the loops was so long it went out the door and back in, and then it was all like and then down. It was all layered tape loops, mate.
Wow.
It was
Amazing.
insane.
The more you know.
But I suppose going back to guilty pleasures, and it's funny because I think this has got to be something that is a bit embarrassing. I don't think this is. I think the first thing I maybe was going to pick is still a bit cool.
What was that?
It was Magic Fly by Space, which if you look that up, and you'll just see that's where Daft Punk got all their ideas from, basically. It's like a 70s thing. And the thing is, that sounds pretty cool, that tune still. So on the theme of the synthy stuff, and I selected this tune because everyone will know this if you were a similar age to me. There was a show on TV called Hitman and Her, and this was the theme tune. And it's so cheesy, but I absolutely love it. And in a way, I've picked this because it helps remind us where it all came from. Let's never forget that disco went to house and all the gay scene and everything there, and then we got Italo and all that other stuff, and then eventually that got into rave. And, we wouldn't have all jungle owes all of that in a weird kind of
to a 7-second drum beat by a soul band. It's funny the way that goes full circle by the way of music. It's the amount of if you had the joy of telling a chava that Makina was originally designed for gay people in Barcelona. It's brilliant. They reel from it. Not come from Wigan. No, actually, it came via Wigan. It come from the nightclubs of Barcelona.
It's hilarious.
It was essentially for gay lads.
I just remember Don, big shout to Don, showed us, I think it was him that showed us the back of one of the record covers.
Right.
Like a Makina record cover, and it was just like loads of big lads with their tops off, and it was just like...
Do you remember Acid
Rock?
Rock?
What do we see?
Acid Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Go and look the video for that. It is amazing. YouTube that when you get home. The video is incredible.
On YouTube,
you can the lads in the jackets, the leather and the caps, and dancing. And I was like, I never noticed this when I was a boy, but yeah. But this, and weirdly, when I was funny, I went looking this up, and this, so oddly, is the music they play when Barnsley FC come out.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's just a wonderful fact.
Hey, it can't be as bad as the new version of Local Hero. That's awful.
Well, they remixed it.
Oh, mate, it's now like a Eurobeat song. Boom, boom, ba.
It's like they've taken the beat from We Will Rock You
and slowed down
and then put the Blade Racers over the top of it.
Why would you do that?
Because he's a fat cockney wanker and you can get out of our club. Stick that on your podcast iTunes. Yeah, right, okay, so,
Time Rider, Cocoon. I mean, yeah, I make no apologies for this. I know it's not cool, but I love it. I love it.
that's fine. I was the same. I
It's
was
your
like,
guilty pleasure.
That's
it's
it.
your guilty
You
pleasure.
go down the rabbit hole of where YouTube takes you this, you'll probably find Rofo's theme. And,
Oh, Frank de Wolf.
well, I mean, Frank de
fucking
Wolf,
amazing.
An absolute legend, Frank de Wolf. Yeah.
I think one of my favourite guilty pleasures is anything nostalgic like that. You know, like the songs
Well, I
from
think
your
that's
favourite
part of it,
movies and
innit?
stuff like that.
It's
Like,
nostalgic. Well,
like-
this reminds me of being a kid here. That would come on late at night, that TV show, and it was a dance music TV show.
was it like the time to go to bed?
Well, probably, yeah. Yeah, you know, I remember having a TV up in your room and
Little
turning it right
John,
down.
Little
Hitman,
John
yeah.
in 1988.
Michaela Strachan on the telly.
Pete Waterman.
Favourite-
Looking a bit seedy.
Exactly. I mean, you look back, they're still on YouTube as well. If you
Yeah,
want
oh
to look at
yeah.
it. It's
I was
hilarious.
watching one the other day. I was like, oh, this is a house music DJ from it. He has Carl Cox. It's like a really young Carl Cox.
Bradford Ritty or something as well. It's like amazing. But this just sums up the really cheesy stuff I love, and I don't mind admitting I love it. You know, I don't listen to this stuff all the time, but sometimes I want to put a smile on my face. Genuinely, just the other week, I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to Time Rider. Proper loud.
Anything that puts a smile on your
There
face.
you go.
So, Section 8 on the Rave podcast, Guilty Pleasures, John Spectra's pick Time Rider. Who remembers that from the movies? Who remembers that from the TV
Well, it
show?
was on a movie. It's funny you say that. It was on a movie recently as well. Apparently, I'd never seen that movie, but when I was looking up the info for it, it's been used again. So it must,
Amazing.
must be cool again.
Well, the original
It all,
release for
it all
that.
comes round. Circle of life.
I don't think it's cool. Like I said, I make no apologies for that. So, sounds lads.
That's all right. Original release for that is 1988, and it was released on 2 different labels. In the UK, it was released on a label called Listen Records, and over in Germany, it was released on XYZ.
It's so
that's-
Euro, innit? It's
It is.
XYZ is especially Euro.
It is. It's a proper Euro label. Right, okay, because we're wheeling through these really, really quickly, we're just going to take a second to remind everybody that you can catch us on Facebook and on Twitter at On The Rave. You can find us on YouTube, On The Rave with Addie and Gav, and you can now find us on Podbean, on the rave.podbean.com. It's not.
On the rave with Addie and Gav. Sorry, I'm just there. I just broke out the song.
Yeah, it's all right.
Gleeful times.
I like it. The sun's come out.
It has,
It
yeah.
is. It's just, you know, it's just a magical moment. I've
Yeah,
said
whenever
magical
we-
far many 2 times.
Whenever we
no,
do this
it's
podcast, the sun comes out. It always does that, doesn't it?
Well, we are doing it in the summer.
Well, it is the summer.
But that's no guarantee.
Sweating our bollocks off
It's
in
no
that
guarantee
tiny
it's sun in
room.
Newcastle,
Yeah.
is it?
That's it. It's not like we're both. It's not like the 3 of us all sat in one room with towels around our necks, burning in the house as a fucking biker.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's time to stroll on to question 9. We're gearing up towards the end of this. This is the section where we discuss John's greatest of all time. So we're going to talk about GOATs, and this is where John's used his wildcard. Oh shit! I forgot. Oh, but I've got an app for this, and I forgot all about it.
I've
and
got it
everything.
open already. I've got it open.
What do you mean?
Well, because we've
It's a
been
wild-
planning. It's the wild card, and what we normally do with the wild card is we make noises with our mouths. But you convinced us to download an app during the
Oh,
week.
did you get that app? It's
Of
with-
course, I
it's
downloaded
with
the app that you
It's got a
recommended.
proper dub siren built into it and everything. It's wicked.
This one has got a big reggae siren built
meow,
into
meow.
it. Is yours even going to work, Addy? That's rubbish. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. Look at, listen to this.
It's
Listen
not
to this.
exactly spine tingling.
Nah. Listen to this bad boy. We've got a proper.
I can't move it. Shut up now.
There we go.
There we go. That's the.
Can you do the pa though? See, it doesn't do it as well as this one.
Maybe not quite, but you know, we're just learning the technology, everyone.
Well done, lads.
Yeah, well that's it. John spurred were to actually get an app and stop doing it with our mouths, and when we got round to it, we're fucking
Doesn't
too
work.
involved in the banter. And
So let's
didn't
hang
actually
on,
go
Gav.
to
Hang on, Gav. We've done it properly now.
the app. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we'll just
Consider it cool.
now that fucking abomination's out of the way, we'll move on to actually discussing your goat. And you've went a bit of a different route. You've went for 2 for 1. You've called your wild card. How are we working this one out?
Well,
Double done.
this is
2 and
it.
a one.
Two and a one.
Double goats and a one.
It's time for the double drop.
2 and 1.
2 and a 1.
I think, well, yeah, so I suppose I was thinking, right, who do I think is the most amazing, awesome people in music, in dance music? And, you know, there's a lot of obvious choices I might go for, like, I completely, you know, unashamedly worship Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
I think Cool Keith's just one of the most creative, brilliant artists ever. You know, I love Boards of Canada and stuff like that.
Yeah, we love a bit of Boards of Canada. At the minute in my house, Hell Interface,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Midas Touch remix is just on 2 and 3 times a day.
Well-
not even getting bored of it.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Well, that was one of the only Boards of Canada things on vinyl I didn't own, and a friend of mine...
The Mask 500.
Yeah, he bought that just randomly years ago when it was just normal price. And he gave me that recently. I just can't believe it.
That's an expensive bit of kit.
I know it is. And I was very reluctant to take it off him, man. Yeah, he wanted me to have that in my collection. I mean, what a friend that is.
Oh, mint.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love that. But yeah, and then again, thinking about, you know, who do I think is the greatest of all time? Again, you know, I get so much respect for people like Madlib, just creative geniuses and that. But I was really trying to keep it, you know, rave, keep it jungle.
It's in the title.
Exactly. And basically, I went for Rob Playford. So some of you'll immediately know who Rob Playford is. Some of you'll never
Legend.
have heard of Rob
Legend.
Playford. But Rob Playford basically ran Moving Shadow, which to me is one of the greatest, you know, labels hands down. But certainly greatest independent labels, greatest electronic labels.
Quintessential when you're discussing things like the drum and bass movement from the early 90s.
Absolutely.
Through all the way, all that liquid stuff that Buckham was on and stuff.
You can take Moving Shadow from like the start to when it ended. I mean, over 200 releases, and it's just a beautiful social documentation of it through from like rave and hardcore into jungle, and then proper drum and bass later. But he would put out everything. You know, you buy a Moving Shadow release, you know, lovely liquidy stuff, you know, nasty dark stuff.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. Just a hugely wonderful creative, output thing. But Rob Playford, and he was also in Two Bad Mice.
There we go. Hey, Two Bad Mice just followed us on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah, just name dropping that.
That's cool.
Yeah, on the same day we got followed by Two Bad Mice and Baby D.
Yeah? No way.
Yeah, it was like, well, obviously, you know,
That's
when you're
class.
doing the Twitter thing, you spam everyone you can.
Yeah,
and they're one of the ones who dived straight back.
I love a bit of Baby D as well, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
definitely,
that's one of those ones that can't even be a guilty pleasure. You know what it is? I was in Asda the other day and Let Me Be Your Fantasy came on. You know what I mean? I just wanted to tap
Fantastic Production
everything.
House was such an epic label.
Oh,
like,
man, that label, yeah. It was
so many
amazing.
big tunes.
Great label as well, yeah. But I suppose just thinking about Two Bad Mice, and I've picked Bomb Scare, and I think it was originally released in '91, and again it looks like a blueprint now when you look at it, just for what was to come. Particularly, I know it's a lot slower than Jungle, but there's all the elements there. Great breakbeat, bass, and again it's ravey as hell.
Oh, yes.
That's a Hands in the Air tune, isn't it? And that's
Definitely,
another one that
definitely.
never went away.
No.
I remember getting re-released.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, wasn't it? It was released in '91, and then again in '94, and then again in '96.
Yeah.
And like,
I think I have it on 3 different releases or something, the 10-inch and then it was a 12-inch, and
there's something really cool about a 10-inch, isn't there?
I love a 10-inch.
It's like that little
Love
in
it.
between a massive 12-inch, a big, thick, heavy 12-inch, and those little flimsy 45s. Nah, put it on a 10. Ooh, a 10. Fuck me, can you play that on either speed, geezer? Like, amazing. So,
But
first two, so you're playing your white cult. So the first song,
I picked Rob Playford basically for being Moving Shadow Man, and also this tune he's involved with was so important, and it still sounds gold today. And then do you want me to talk about the other one as well? Are you going to just play them back to back?
we are.
Let's play one and then we'll talk about the next one.
I think, yeah, let's stick with that.
Well,
so track one, Two Bad Mice.
Bomb Scare.
That was Too Bad Mice. That was Bomb Scare.
I've got 2 questions for you as well. First question: What bomb scare did you have, pink or blue?
What do you mean?
Because on the re-release, it was a big thing when I was buying these records. There was a blue one and a pink one with blue and pink covers.
I have it on white vinyl in a clear sleeve, and then I think the other one is just like a normal black 12-inch. The one that's ruined anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the one I always play is it was the one on Smile that was repressed.
Right, then see, I got the
It was a
repress on
repress
Blue and Shadow,
years
and they were
ago.
blue and pink.
Ah, right,
Blue and pink
okay.
covers with different things
That's
on.
right, yeah.
And the
on the sleeve was
question 2.
not the vinyl, but yeah.
What track that we mentioned earlier did the sample come from?
Don't Mess With This
The
Beat.
Beat Neon, yeah. Another classic
that's
rave
right,
tune.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the other thing I suppose I wanted to mention at some point. Everybody just sampled everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
how many chunks of Strings of Life are in other tunes?
Oh yes,
For
just
example.
massive tribute to them.
As well as just random lines from Public Enemy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
How many times have random bits that Chuck D's done have randomly ended up in bits and pieces?
Well, anything that could be sampled was sampled, even if it contextually didn't really make any sense, I suppose. It was like, you've got a sample of a lyrics, or an MC saying 4 words.
Yeah,
It doesn't even matter
let's
if
squeeze
he's-
it in no matter how hard we have to.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's talking about his tomatoes or something, but it doesn't matter, it's going in. I love all that. And it was funny because, I'm particularly fascinated with sample culture and stuff like that with hip-hop. And I don't know if you really know, there was like 2 landmark cases that changed everything. And it was basically because one artist on 2 sister labels, one sampled another one, they were on the same parent label, and then he sued the other guy. And that was just open season after that, and all sampling had to change.
Yeah.
And I think as a result, a lot of stuff's probably gone now because they never really cleared the samples properly. And, they can't now put it on streaming services.
Yeah.
I remember reading a thing once that said that, I don't know how true this is, but they reckon 50% of music that's ever been made has not made it to the digital age. And that's depressing.
Just because of samples.
Just because it was never, it was just lost or it was too obscure and it was on labels that had gone. So it never made it from old vinyl to CD even, so it's gone forever now. You can't find it on the internet anywhere. It's just it's so sad.
To call it dodgy white labels.
But I'm
50
sure
copies.
that was in that documentary about a guy with the biggest record collection in the world, and he was going blind. Did you watch that? It was heartbreaking.
No.
He had over 1 million records or something, and he was all in his basement, but he was old and going blind, and he just wanted to sell it to retire, and you could see his wife was sick of her life and that. It was a lovely, touching little documentary. And all I'm thinking is all these millionaire, hip hoppers out there somewhere just put that in a trust. Put it in a trust somewhere for people can go and enjoy it.
Yeah.
He had the first ever Beatles record in there or something, but.
Fucking hell, they just don't end up going.
And then and you think, God, what is going to happen now? It's all end up in skips. I mean, even you think about how many times you've heard, my mum just hoid all me records.
Loads of times.
Yeah. With me, it wasn't my records, it was my Transformers.
Mate.
Even worse.
And that still hurts now, doesn't it?
Oh, God,
okay.
I'm still, that's the most butthurt I've ever been.
She did it with all my comics when I.
Well, my mum did it with all your. What?
Did she go around people's houses? Gav, is your mum going around people's houses through it? Because don't tell her all my stuff's in the loft.
She's just absolutely anti-nostalgia. Anything with the element of
It's funny,
nostalgia.
isn't it? My mum's like that as well. But she gave me comics to my cousin. I thought, at least they're going to a good home. And then I remember going over his and he'd cut them all up and drawn on them. And that's not what you do with them.
Oh yeah. My nephew on Steph's side, big wrestling fan, went to go and meet his favourite wrestlers, the Usos, and he got toys signed by them and everything. And as soon as he got outside, he ripped the fucking box open, and it just, I can remember knowing, I was like, they're not my toys, but why does it hurt? Why does it hurt? If he had just left them closed until they retired or something like that. Okay, in any case, moving on from my mum selling everything and kids opening toys.
Second goat of the day.
To the second element of the goat. So
I just picked another tune off Moving Shadow, which in and of itself is difficult to do. And I bet when I'm this gun, anyone listening who loves Moving Shadow go, why did you pick that? Why didn't you pick so and so? Because everyone's got a favourite.
Yeah.
But I love them all. And I picked this just because it's really well known. It's an absolute banger. It's another one of those that will totally raise the roof. The people in this were and a lot of other amazing things to do with drum and bass, like Ram Trilogy and stuff like Ant Miles basically. So this is Higher Sense, and the tune is Cold Fresh Air Remix from 1994 on Moving Shadow. And everyone knows this. Love it.
sweet, here we go.
Cold fresh air. Cold fresh air. Cold fresh Cold, fresh air.
Okay, amazing. That was the second choice in the gold category by Mr. JOHN SPECTRA. That was Higher Sense, Cold, Fresh Air, 1994 on Moving Shadow. I believe that was on the release, I've got it right in front of me, it was the EP that came with Listen Up on the other side.
I think it's funny because the original mix was on a different label, and then the remix was on Moving Shadow, which would seem unthinkable now. But there's a lot of stuff went on.
Yeah,
But,
you never really know.
endless remixes of tunes.
Endless remixes of tune. If you're there, you can dig around for anything of those genres. Like I've got a Bowie record in the house, which has got like its only different remix. I do love a bit of Bowie. I've got a 45 in the house, not a 45, sorry, it's 12-inch of different remixes of Little Wonder. The sort of rave drum and bass breakier tune that he released in '96.
Really experimenting with stuff then, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was working with one of the producers of The Prodigy. And making these sort of big breakbeaty and techno-y songs.
Yeah.
One of the techno-y songs is the first song that comes on during the credits of Seven. It's called Heart's Filthy Lesson. It's an absolute beast. It's an absolute beast. But if you search hard enough, there's enough remixes of everything out there to find one that suits your niche.
You mentioned Bowie the other night. I love just clicking YouTube, watching videos. It's one of my favourite things, music videos. And you heard the tune a million times, but Space Oddity, it's an incredible piece of music. That for a pop song, man.
Yeah.
That little, it's like concept pop. He's taking you on this little journey, and you're really like. You're just there, aren't you? In space, it's incredible.
Yeah, you
I
really had
like
he had a way of transmorphing and being ahead of the curve by the way of changing. He had so many different versions of himself, chameleonic.
I remember trying to explain to my dad, when he died, and my dad was like, I didn't see the fuss, like he couldn't even really sing. And I'm like, honestly, like I must spend
I spent 45 minutes crying in bed.
Spent about
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can see Gav's disgusted face right now.
I'd spend like half an hour trying to convince my dad why David Bowie was awesome. I mean, I'm not even a massive Bowie fan, but you cannot deny just like the legacy of that.
Transcended space and time. He really did. Right, speaking of transcending space and time, we're running out of time and we've only actually got 2 songs left to play for you.
Ooh,
so
maybe just one.
No, there's a scientific choice to go at the end as well.
Oh,
I did with my bag of science. Listen,
bag of science.
Look at that.
That's fucking full of fucking science.
All of science is in there.
It's fucking loads.
I've never seen that much science.
Well, that's
so much science.
All in one. You should see the pockets on his science jacket. They're fucked. They're all overloaded with test tubes of aliens.
Oh, just fucking all sorts.
So, this is question 10. This is the moment when we ask our guests if you were a member of the WWE roster and you were about to walk down to the ring to have a match with Mick Foley, what song would be playing? What song do you class as your personal anthem, John?
Well, again, it's hard to pick this, but I always default, and it's funny, I do find this music soothing, and like some of my friends who make drum and bass, I suppose professionally, a lot of them they don't like this kind of drum and bass. Some of them,
right? Angry, nasty drum and bass.
I mean, some of them really do. Obviously, they don't, but yeah, really nasty drum and bass. In a sense, I say nasty. It's not unpleasant to me. I find it soothing in a way.
I love just nasty as they come. Like I listen to Limewax all day.
Yeah, you see, with Limewax again. I mean, what an amazingly original producer he was. A great producer.
Still, everything that he puts out is just so different, so fresh. Never 2 tracks that are just constantly evolving.
I mean, he's another one I buy everything he'd bring out. But I love Tech Edge. I mean, the one I've picked is a Dom and Roland tune. When Dom and Roland is writing these big A-many epics, he does it so well. But I love stuff like the Gremlins put out and the Aspect stuff, all that. They kind of still flying the flag around those kind of things. Scientific Wax is amazing.
Science.
Yeah.
If you want to go check that label out, but
one of our Northeast boys obviously is releasing on Sidewalk.
That's right,
well.
B.
And he's
Mr. Dadman, Mr. Breadman.
Yeah, Shamrock Breadman. Eventually he'll get on here as well. Because he's doing the tunes with Equinox and stuff like that. Isn't he?
Yeah, that's Equinox's label, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's been around forever. But I mean, God, have you seen how much they go for on discos? It's insane.
Oh yeah, they're going crazy monies.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What have I picked? I picked Dom and Roland, and I've picked Deckard's Theme. And it's a sample, lovely samples taken from, a great movie, Blade Runner. And I wouldn't really pick this because it's called Theme, and I was like a theme, but it's just wonderfully, dramatic, and I love it.
It's got the thing with these personal anthem tunes. It's one of those things we've said it before, that it's a tune that when you're down, it picks you up. When you're up and you're ready to move up to the next level, to the upper echelons, it'll do that job as well. When you're sad, it'll wipe those tears off your face and put a smile back on it. That's the thing with like your personal anthem. They suit so many different things going on. So you've gone for Dom and Roland, and you've gone for Decker's Theme.
Decker's Theme, yeah. It's not that old, this one, I think. I'm trying to remember exactly when this came out.
2007.
Is
on
it?
the
Oh,
album
it's actually a bit older than I thought then.
Through the Looking Glass.
That's right, it's off that album. And then there was another album that came out. Well, there was a B-Key remix of this ended up coming out.
The B-Key one, yeah.
B-Key, which is just a really great remix.
Justin's a good guy.
But yeah, I picked this. Somebody told me how he got his name. I don't know if that's a true story or not.
Yeah? That's a fucking tease. That's a tease,
yeah.
come on.
Well, I better not repeat it in case it's not true.
Right. There we go. Someone who doesn't actually want to get in trouble.
What an amazing producer he is, and that remix, I love it. But yeah, Dom and Roland, Decker's Theme. That's what I've gone for. That's what I'd come out for. If I was a wrestler, I'd be one skinny rubbish wrestler. But
you'd come out with some banging drum.
But yeah, and I'd probably do my shoulder in 5 minutes and be like, hold on. But at least you got to hear this.
Right, sound well. This is the 11th track from section 10. This is the 11th track from section 10 of the On the Rave podcast edition with John Spectra. John, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good crack. Like, as I say, like people so far, I've been a little bit apprehensive and struggle with our lists, but everyone seems to have enjoyed themselves.
No, you've done really well.
You've
done really well.
You've done no bother.
You've
Tell your mum if you
Oh, he's been no bother.
Put this podcast on the fridge. Gold star. Our John did really, really well.
Amazing. So this is the final song selected by John Spectra. Thank you very much for coming on the show again.
Cheers again, lads. Cheers, man.
And this is Dom and Roland, Decker's Theme.
on, come on, come on. Decker. Show me the way to home.
Addie, we've done it again, and we've come to the end of another podcast.
5 down.
5 down. Well, that, yeah. 5 down. Another world's worth to go.
As you're listening to this, I'll be at Lindisfarne Festival. If you go to Lindisfarne Festival, again, pick us up, prop us up, put us somewhere, put some pictures in my face.
Yeah, just make sure that he comes home like in one bit, because we've got episode 6 to do when he comes back. So let's just make sure that's not all fucked up. One last reminder, you can catch us on Facebook and on Twitter at On The Rave. You can catch us on YouTube, On The Rave, with Addie and Gav. We're so close to getting enough subscribers.
Please
to be able
subscribe,
to
Howie. I don't want to beg anymore.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spam you every day? Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, we're so agonizingly close to that 100 subscribers and securing that URL. And, of course, we are powered by Podbean. The best place to get us is ontherave.podbean.com.
Certainly is.
We're down to that moment of the week. It's time for Addie's scientifically improved finale. Hashtag one more tune. What's in the test tube tonight?
Honestly, I've got a fucking absolute nightmare of a tune tonight. I'm going to grab your test tubes and empty my science juice over your face, neck and chest.
It is. This tune is actually a little bit of a spoiler as to someone who's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks' time, isn't that right?
Yes. Mike Technoist, love you, man. And this is the Technoist Hippie Killer on Industrial Strength. That album's called Tank Alligator.
It is called Tank Alligator.
Brilliant.
Released from 2014. And just one quick reminder, you might not have seen, we have actually been booked on the Rave, or actually going on the road in October. We're going to be playing at
If you
Fractal.
want to come and get on the Rave with Addie and Gav, see you at Fractal on the 19th.
On the 19th of October.
Yes.
Yeah. So, from me, Gav, and this man here, this
I'm
is Addie. And it's now time to officially be
off the Rave.
I'm actually going to go and risk my life now. I can feel a sense of danger, a sense of violence building. I'm actually going to go and see some of these terrorists and find out what they're actually doing.
Hippies everywhere, hippies running all over the street. We don't know what's happening. Violent running happening all over the place. Look, I can just see this violent running everywhere. Hippies everywhere. Hippies everywhere.
Breatharian, sandal munching motherfuckers.
Excuse me, mate. Don't you think it's about time we stop this racket and put on some reggae music? Do you want